The number one thing it comes down to is respect and respecting yourself. This is one thing I never compromise on. The moment someone disrespects me, I clap back or I'm out of there. And in most cases, both of them. I'll clap back, then I'm out of there. But I just don't tolerate it. You know why? Because I respect myself. If you have no respect for yourself, it's going to be really hard for you to set boundaries and to also speak up for yourself. Because by not having that respect, that self-respect, you're basically saying, if I don't have self-respect, then why would other people respect me? So if someone disrespects me, I guess like I should allow it. You see what I mean? The moment you start to believe you're deserving of respect and to also respect yourself, trust me, it's going to be very, very easy for you to set those boundaries and for you to stand up for yourself. You need to be very clear on your values as well, because the moment someone breaches your values, you're going to swoop in and stand up for yourself. I'll give you an example. I was at dinner with these men that I didn't really know, and they were racist. They were making very racist jokes, in particular about someone that I had been with. And I was like, this is not okay. So I was clapping back at them. All of them. It was like 5 guys against me. And then the girls I was with, they didn't really say anything. That's another story, and they were a little bit drunk, so whatever. It was honestly uncomfortable for everyone, but I was like, I'm not going to tolerate this. It's also not okay for these people to say such things. And that's because I knew what my values were too. I knew that I'm not a racist person, and I also will not stand up for anyone that is racist. And I know that it's also my obligation that if someone else is being racist, to not only educate them, but I need to put them in their place. Like, it's just not okay. And realistically, I would never see these people again, but I know my values and I wasn't gonna let it slide. My friend after, she said to me, you shouldn't have said anything. Simone, you should have let it go. You're not gonna see them again. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Because they were disrespectful towards other races, but also towards the person that I had been seeing. So that means indirectly towards me. No. Another example that I shared on my proof. So I'm at the airport, and if you go through the security screening, you know how there's like the screen, whatever it's called, where you put your bags through, and then there's a table connecting to that with the trays, and you push it through, and then there's like a horizontal table usually that extends. So you got the horizontal, you got the vertical, and then the vertical is connecting into the screening place. There was this middle-aged couple, and instead of going to the front of the tray section so they can push it through, they're blocking everyone in the horizontal part, and then there's all this space here. So there's people waiting behind, you know, we've got planes to catch. So I walk to the front, I get the tray, I walk to the front. I'm not cutting in. Like, realistically, they would have been finished before me anyway, got their tray and gone. So I get the tray, I'm putting my stuff in, and then the guy mutters, oh, this girl's cutting in, she's so rude. And I immediately snap back. I'm like, sir, this is not cutting in. I'm literally just putting my stuff in here. You were going to go first anyway. I'm not actually going first. And he's like, well, you're in front of me, so as far as I'm concerned, this is cutting in. I'm like, sir, how stupid do you have to be? You are holding up the queue. This is not in line to get food or something. We're trying to get our bags through so we can catch a flight, and you're holding everyone up. And anyways, you know, we're going back and forth a bit, but it was ridiculous. I stood up for myself immediately because I knew my values. Like, I'm not gonna cut in. Hello. I'm not going to do that. It was so fucking clear what I was doing, and it was so clear that security actually made me go first after, and his wife was silent the whole time. When you're clear on your values and you know who you are, what you will do and what you won't do, you will naturally just stand up for yourself. Because I'm like, I'm not going to let him say that. Also, what an idiot. At the end, he comes up to me when we're putting our stuff in the bags, and he goes, can you move, you privileged little bitch? And I say, thanks, I'm gonna let you have that win because you clearly need it. Something like that. You know what happens to me when I get into little arguments with strangers? An adrenaline rush. And then I just clap back. I don't know why. Sometimes I scare myself and it just comes out. That incident sparked a lot of people replying to me and saying, oh, Simone, like, how did you feel confident to do that? I would have been scared. Guys, it comes out of me so naturally now. And it's honestly because of the fact that I know my value. I know that I wasn't cutting in. If maybe I was sneakily trying to cut in and then he said that to me, I would have been like, I'm sorry. or I would have been silent. But I knew straight up I wasn't doing that, so I clapped back. Number 2, when you say no, you don't really have to give someone an explanation. No is an answer in itself. It's also a boundary. I will always give an explanation to my friends or people that I value, but if it's to a guy, and you know, sometimes guys can be very, what's the word, entitled? No, perfectly fine. I don't want to do that. No. You free? No. You don't need to keep explaining yourself. Recently, I met this guy online, and then I chatted to him like very briefly on Instagram, but we didn't follow each other. I actually followed him, then I immediately unfollowed because I just decided, actually, I don't want to follow you. Somehow he caught that and he DMs me and goes, did you just unfollow me? And because he actually followed me in that moment, I thought of saying, oh, like, no, like I was getting a plane, maybe it didn't go through, because I felt a bit uncomfortable. But then I was like, why would I say that? Why do I owe him an explanation? So I literally just replied pretty much 100 emoji. Yeah, I did that straight up. Okay, number 3, free will. When you realize you have free will and you can do what you want, say what you want, I think you'll start to stand up for yourself then. But also, you need to be very cautious. Some people say to me, oh, I wouldn't stand up to a man because I would fear him killing me. Yeah, you need to pick your battles. If you are in a very bad situation, or you know that person's kind of dodgy, obviously treat it very differently. For example, if that situation at the airport was not in the airport and in a very sketchy place, I probably would have been like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I really didn't mean to do this. I would be so different. So adapt to the situation. Obviously that man's not going to kill me at an airport with security around. Yeah, free will continued. You don't have to hang out with someone if you don't want to. You don't have to go out with that date. You don't have to talk to your toxic family if you don't want to. Oh, but my mum's forcing me to. Free will. Do you want to talk to your mum even? I'm joking. Family first. 4, I personally, I'm not afraid of having awkward talks. I'm not afraid of awkward situations either. Like that time when people were being racist at dinner and I like put them in their place. I'm like, stop. This is not okay. I actually don't find it awkward. I find it awkward if I let stuff like that continue. Okay, 5, pick your battles. Is it worth fighting in this situation? Is it even worth standing up for myself in this situation? For example, like I said, if that airport situation was in a sketchy alley, not at an airport, I would have had to decide if I wanted to go into that battle. And I probably wouldn't have. 6, be assertive and confident always. This is actually something that you need to practice over time. So I remember in my first relationship, I became super passive. You know what? Couldn't even tell you why. I don't remember, but let's just say I became very passive. I remember the moment my assertiveness and confidence started to return after my breakup. It was like 8 months after. I'm crossing the road, zebra crossing. This lady, she tries to run me over. She's like, you're not walking fast enough, even though I'm fucking speed walking. So she's like beeping at me, she nearly runs me over, and then I go to her car and I'm literally like, I cuss her out basically. And it came out of nowhere. It just jumped out of me. And that was the moment I realized, hey, Simone is returning. And it was such a good feeling because, you know, during my first relationship, had that would have happened, I would have been like, so it's things like that. You build your confidence. That incident happened and then it gave me confidence in other situations. And then I knew that I would take care of myself and stand up for myself. And if no one else stands up for me, well, I've got my own back. 7, be unapologetically yourself at all times. If you don't like yourself, you're insecure about who you are, it will also be hard for you to stand up for yourself. But don't forget, you don't have to like yourself in order to be deserving of respect, because I don't think all of us even like ourselves. Definitely there's things about me that I don't like, but it doesn't mean that people should not respect me or that I should not respect myself. That's all, guys.